The phone rings. You see the name on the screen. And somehow, before you even answer, you already know. Bad news. In the second after you hear it, something strange happens. You don't cry. You don't speak. You don't even breathe. Your mind, the same mind that was working perfectly fine 30 seconds ago, simply goes blank. That gap, that frozen half second, wasn't chosen. By the time you noticed it happening, it had already happened. Somewhere underneath your awareness, your brain had already decided whether you would freeze or act, before you ever knew a decision was being made. So what actually happens in that instant? And why does it play out one way for you, and a completely different way for the person standing right next to you? Your brain runs two systems that compete for control whenever something goes wrong. One is built to think, the other is built to survive. Which one wins depends on a signal most people have never heard of, yet it has been quietly shaping their reactions their entire life. Psychologist Albert Bandura spent decades watching people face crisis. He noticed something strange. It wasn't the strongest or the smartest who coped best. It was the ones whose brains had already decided they could. He called this self-efficacy. Not confidence, not personality. It is your brain's private forecast of whether you are capable of handling what is in front of you. A forecast that forms almost instantly, long before conscious thought catches up. Bandura's research uncovered something uncomfortable. People often freeze not simply because a situation is difficult, but because in that instant, their brain predicts they can't handle it. Once that conclusion forms, the rest of the body simply follows orders. Here is what that looks like inside you. When your brain predicts you are capable, the prefrontal cortex stays engaged. This is the region involved in reasoning and decision-making. You think, you choose, you respond. But when your brain predicts otherwise, the amygdala becomes more dominant. This structure is closely tied to detecting threat. Careful thought gets crowded out. Your body shifts its priority from solving the problem to protecting you from what it perceives as a threat, which is why panic never feels like a choice. Because it isn't one. It is a prediction built from your history, firing before you have had a single conscious moment to weigh in. So where does that prediction actually come from? It isn't something you are born with. It is built quietly, one small moment at a time. Every time you have faced something hard and pushed through it, your brain logs it. I tried, and it worked. But every time someone stepped in and rescued you before you got the chance to try, your brain logs something else. I couldn't have done that alone. Over years, those moments accumulate into a pattern. That pattern becomes the default your nervous system reaches for. The next time something breaks, think about the last time you had to do something that made you nervous. Maybe speaking up in a meeting, maybe having a difficult conversation. Some part of you may have rehearsed it, delayed it, felt your chest tighten. That hesitation wasn't weakness. It was your brain running a prediction, based on every similar moment that came before it. Here is the part that surprises most people. Self-efficacy has almost nothing to do with intelligence, and often very little to do with experience in that specific situation. Two people can face the same sudden crisis. One has weathered hard things before, so some part of them expects to get through this too. The other has spent a lifetime being shielded from difficulty, with no internal proof they can handle it alone. The first brain says, "This is solvable." The second brain says, "This is happening to me." But this is where it turns hopeful. That prediction isn't fixed. It is rebuilt the same way it was formed, through small, repeated proof. Not one dramatic act of courage. You made the call you had been avoiding. You handled the small thing instead of waiting to be rescued. You stayed in the discomfort 10 seconds longer than usual. Each moment becomes new evidence, and your brain quietly updates its forecast based on evidence, not intention. So the next time you feel yourself freeze, don't read it as weakness. Read it as information. Your brain is simply reporting what the evidence still says, that it isn't yet convinced you can handle this. Which means the answer was never to wait for confidence to arrive on its own. It was to hand your brain one new piece of proof. Deliberately, however small. Every small act of courage becomes evidence. And in the end, your brain doesn't become brave because you believe in yourself. It believes in you because of the evidence you give it.